Hi guys, how you doing? Senior Gaming here, and in today's episode I'm bringing you Vampire Idol and we're gonna talk Rune. So if you're a Vampire Idol player or perhaps Idol gamer, then make sure you subscribe to the channel as I post as often as possible and obviously bring you best tips and advice. So one of the ways to improve your overall power will be to definitely invest into Rune. The game itself provides a choice between 3 main runes and 9 sub-runes. And the main rune itself is pretty much unlocked when you just start the game, whilst actually the 2 sub-runes are unlocked later on and require specific levels to do so. So obviously, first of all, let's locate where the rune itself can be found. So we're gonna head over to a main menu, we're gonna tap on body, and a 4th tab, it's called rune. And as you see now, you'll have a choice of 3 different presets, which in my opinion you should actually allocate 1 of each main rune, as every single one of them will provide you a different benefits and you'll be selecting them depending on what you're actually doing in the game itself. And I will definitely go through every single one of the main rune and a sub rune a little bit later down this video. So once we double tap on a main rune, and you cannot really be missed, the main rune will be in the middle and as mentioned sub runes to the side. First of all, I want to tell you how you can actually upgrade the rune itself. So in order to upgrade rune, obviously you cannot really miss the button upgrade, but in order to do it you need that rune essence, and all you need to do is just obviously tap that upgrade and that will go up and boost your overall score. So obviously let's find out first where we can get this rune essence to just carry on and upgrading our rune and getting it stronger. So the first place you want to go is going to be a battle, and then actually as you see the 4th tab, it's called Rune Dungeon. And in here, obviously, like every single one of these different categories, you'll be experiencing on daily basis. You got either way of challenging this, or you actually can sweep. And obviously, once you sweep, you've got a chance of getting some rune essence. So let's just have a look. I actually got some spare keys. Let's do 1 sweep. And now we actually have managed to get 479 rune essence. So obviously that's your first way of getting rune essence. Then second will be actually going into shop, obviously hitting a weekly shop, and in here you can exchange gems, in this particular case 600 gems into 200 rune essence. And lastly, obviously you're gonna head over to your secondary shop, which can be found in a guild, and same principle here, we're gonna exchange 50 tokens this time for 200 rune essence. Okay, so now we know where we can find it. Let's now discuss a sub-runes. So obviously sub-runes will be located, as mentioned earlier, to the side of the main rune, and you obviously once you tap on it, you've got 9 different runes to choose from. Again, towards end of this video, I will address every single sub-rune, and I'll also give you my advice of what I think you should select. So if we head back over to our Rune Dungeon itself, you've got all the info about sub-runes. And basically what it means, that we've got 6 different grades to choose from. And obviously as you will be progressing with your dungeon, the percentage of getting the rune itself will increase. So currently I'm on level 39 out of 70, so just slightly well over half. And obviously I want to keep pushing, meaning the higher I get, the higher chance of the best rune I can have. And as you see, obviously we're starting with normal all the way to mythical. And currently I'm on a whopping 0.297%, and this is obviously chance of getting this best rune. And obviously what is worth noting here, again, if I just go over with sweep, I want to show you something. So I have swept and now I have got plenty of different grades of the rune, but obviously there is no mythical, which is a blue. And if we go over now to my runes, as you see, I have actually unlocked every single rune now being on the best grade, apart this one, which is pretty stubborn, but I'm gonna get that very, very shortly. Meaning when we now sweeping our dungeon and we're using keys or we're using challenge to do so, if you land a rune which is same grade, which in my case will be pretty much every single one being mythical, so every single one will be same grade or lower, all your runes will be now converted into rune essence as well. So it means pretty much where I currently sit with the game, every single day when I come and try to challenge this rune, I'm getting plenty of rune essence. And again, despite you have seen that I have received a lot of runes, we do not store them anyway, they cannot be leveled up, pretty much they just replaced one by another. So what I mean, when you just starting out, you probably hit few normal runes, few rare ones, etc, etc. And then every single time you will come back, if you acquire a stronger rune, it will replace the one you had before, and obviously until you reach all the runes with the grade of mythical, and then everything else is being transferred into rune essence. Okay, so this is where we are. So obviously now it's time to go and discuss the runes itself. So obviously once we tap on it again, we've got a 3 as we have mentioned earlier on. So I'm gonna start with the first one. And the first one being Rune of Abundance. And as you see, main position effect in here will increase our attack. And then when it comes to all these skills, which you will unlock as you see on level 30, 80, 150 and 225, which means we need to upgrade Rune to these very particular levels. And as you clearly see, you can surpass that level, and that will then mainly impact your main position effect. This rune will be best for your idle grinding. As you see, there is many different skills which will increase your gold, experience output, and also you can increase drop of your true blood. So purely, Rune of Abundance will be something you want to keep on whilst you're grinding. And this is the rune I'm currently wearing, and you will probably use it 99% of the time whilst you grind the game. Then we move into Rune of Carnage, which is our second. As you see, this is the strongest one I currently have. And main possession effect will increase critical attack. Again, when it comes to skills, same principle, unlocking them on a very same levels, but the skills itself are all around multiple enemies and increasing damage. Therefore, I think this rune will be best when you go and challenge, for example, survival or any other aspect of the game where you've got multiple enemies. And then finally we go to a Rune of Opposer, which as you see currently I need to start leveling a little bit further to unlock all the skills. Again, main position effect will be Blood Strike attack in this case, but the skills are actually more designed to a singular target, which in my opinion obviously they will be best for a boss fight where we've got a chance of, you know, increasing hits when it comes to normal attack. We've got some reflect damage, and we also got some chance of restoring HP. So therefore I think this rune is gonna be the best when it comes to this one unit and you want to challenge these boss fights, etc. Okay, and now lastly what we've got to cover is just talk about sub runes. And because actually you can access the runes itself and you can read all the description, I'm not gonna waste time on that. Let me actually give you my indication where I think you should pair sub runes with the main runes. Okay, so obviously when it comes to a first main rune, which is a Rune of Abundance, this is everything related around grinding, as I mentioned. So in my opinion, best two runes you should go for is gonna be Rune of Panto, where apart everything grinding related, you will also increase your gold loot, and also you will go with a Rune of Shailin, which is increasing your experience. So this should be your setup, and if we actually come back here, as you see, this is the very setup I've got, which I always use when I go and grind. Right then. So now we're talking second rune, which is Rune of Carnage. As I mentioned, this is a damage related one when it comes to a lot of different enemies. So I think you've got 3 different runes to choose from in here. I would definitely go on with a Rune of Akilda, where we will increase our attack if Rampage is in effect. And we're gonna go and talk about Rampage in just a second. And then either I would choose between a Rune of Broly, where you can actually decrease cooldown on Rampage, or I would go with a Blood Critical Rate, which now is increased by 14% on the maximum level. And this is what I'm currently going with, but I would say these 2 runes might be something you want to consider and try it out for yourself. So obviously when it comes to stats itself, my current Blood Strike rate is only at 67%, which is increased by 14% obviously once I'm wearing this particular sub-rune. And this obviously it's nothing else than this stronger critical in a game. And now when we go back and actually investigate a little bit of Blood Rampage, as you see the duration of Rampage takes 10 seconds and the cooldown is 16. So if you use rune that decrease that by 5 seconds, you pretty much have unlimited time on Blood Rampage. And as you see, it's just great benefits in here. We're talking increased attack to 150%, attack speed and movement speed. So I would say these runes will be pretty similar one to another. You got to test it out for yourself. But that's definitely one of the first 3 to consider when it comes to main Rune of Carnage. Okay, and lastly, obviously, when we talk about Rune of Opposer, when we mentioned earlier, this is gonna be something you wanna go ahead and, you know, challenge yourself with the boss. We're talking here this singular player. Then, you know, you can still consider the runes which we talk about increasing damage itself, so the first three. But there is also definitely worth trying out your rune which will increase boss damage, or perhaps the one which will increase your attack for 2 seconds whilst you're being hit. Because when we talk about singular target and actually facing a boss, you will be hit every few seconds, therefore 150% of attack boost is definitely something good. This is definitely something I have not fully tried out yet. As you see, this sort of my Rune of Opposer is on a poor level, so I have not sort of tested it fully yet, but this is something you can consider and then obviously go and try it out for yourself. Okay then guys, so I hope you found this useful. If you have, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button so you know we can help other players identify the best rune in the game itself, and as always, I will see you next time.